Welcome. We are the Shank Club NFL. Back to the old school. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shank Club NFL. I'm your boy Nick, aka Trey Area. People say I don't like him. $180 says different. So suck it, motherfuckers. All of you haters out there that think I don't like him. Yeah. Any sane person would not spend that kind of money on a jersey. And it isn't even a knockoff. He bought a genuine one. So it's not even knockoff. So let's cut that shit down. Person that got banned from Twitter, don't even remember who you are. But thank you for insulting me. Thank you for making me out myself as someone that suffers with mental health issues. I've had a lot of positive feedback from everyone. Thank you to everyone that has reached out to me. I put another video out. I did a little live 2-minute thing earlier saying thank you. So I'm not going to dwell on that anymore. Without further ado, let's bring him in, my co-host. And we have got some guests backstage that, well, definitely one that you haven't seen for a while. So it could be very interesting. I'm not going to tell you who it is because he's coming on very soon. Let's bring my main man in. Carl, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Salutations, sir. How are you?
Good evening, mate. I'm not too bad, thank you. Merry Christmas to you and to all your loved ones as well over the last week. It's been a bit chaotic around my end, but it's good to have another show. Week 17 now. We are literally right up against it now. 2 games left of the regular season, and it's all to play for. AFC is a bloodbath, and the NFC wildcard picture is not exactly clean cut either after the shenanigans that happened last week. So let's crack on.
Definitely. As you say, the playoff scenario is getting more murkier by the minute. Certainly in the NFC, it's kind of all up in the air with the Niners lost to Tennessee. Obviously, your guys lost, and I saw a lot of negativity because of your QB's play, etc., etc. But we're going to get into all of that as we go. So yeah, Happy New Year and all that jazz, because that's the next thing that's coming up. Christmas has been and gone. Had my mum over. She stayed for 4 days, gone home. So yeah, had a good time. Luckily stayed COVID free. I was kind of worried because I think in total 10 people at work or people associated with my work colleagues ended up isolating at Christmas. Had my booster yesterday and yeah, feel really strange. I feel part of the dead hand gang in my left arm. Luckily, I'm right-handed because otherwise I'd be picking shit up and it would be falling on the floor because I couldn't feel it. Anyway, talking of the dead hand gang, I'm only joking. Nick, how are you, sir?
Well, how's that for an entrance? No, my hand is fully functional. Yeah, it's been a good, nice little Christmas actually. How's your guys been?
Yeah, it was. In the end, it was good. I was sweating all the way up till Christmas Eve. Took my final COVID test Christmas Eve morning. Came up negative, thank God. And I was very lucky compared, as I just said, compared to a lot of people where I work. I think in the end, 4 or 5 were affected. So Christmas was basically cancelled. They're still in the isolation period. So it's pretty crap for them. Luckily, I managed to have a Christmas. My mum enjoyed it. She's gone home now. And I know she doesn't watch this. And I love you, Mum, but 4 days, man, 4 days. Anybody that spends that amount of time cooped up, because obviously there's nothing you can really do. There's nowhere you can go. My mum's that sort of age where things are sort of slowing down and not the same. So, yeah, it was all good for me. It was all good. I know you were with your in-laws as well, Nick, right?
With parents, no in-laws, missing a vital part of the equation of not having a girlfriend or a wife. But I spent Christmas with parents, my sister, my 2-year-old niece. So I was absolutely fucking shattered by 3 o'clock. But yeah, it was good laugh. Really good fun.
Cool. Were you with your girlfriend, Carl, this year, or?
Yes, I was with my other half. I was with her mum and dad for Christmas, and then Boxing Day we were around to my mum's, and most of my family all came over as well. My twin niece and nephew was there. My eldest, unfortunately, had COVID, so she couldn't be there. Neither could my sister and my brother-in-law, which was a real shame. But we still had a good time regardless. And then the last few days have just been spending it at home, spending time with my mates, and yeah, trying to dissect and what the hell happened to us on last Sunday. But yeah, it was just. But overall, it was a very good Christmas. Didn't get any Patriots gear, however, though. Got no merchandise at all whatsoever. So
I can't believe you didn't get a Mac Jones jersey. They're obviously your family obviously didn't want to waste their money on that.
It's not so much.
It might only last the season.
It's not. Shut up. It's not so much the fact. It's not so much that I didn't ask him. It's the fact it's a little bit premature. If I ask him for a Mac Jones jersey and then we don't make the playoffs, I want to make sure we make the playoffs first before I then get it.
Because the other thing, of course, if you'd have got a Mac Jones jersey, they could put it on the ceiling and you'd easily reach it because his ceiling is quite low. But that's another story. Anyway, got to bring in someone. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Now, a returning guest. Been a good supporter of the shows. Been on, probably not on for maybe, I don't know, maybe a year or so, maybe 8 months or something. I am proud to bring my friend back. Big supporter of the show. Love this guy. Mark.
Good evening, everyone. Well, that's a bit of an intro, isn't it? As I say, but thank you very much for that, Nick. And it's great to be back and great to be talking ball. I know it's been a crazy kind of year, hasn't it? And I haven't got a clue when I was last time on, but certainly been watching from a distance. And yeah, it's been great as always, and some great guests on and some great banter. And long may that continue, really. And let's just enjoy the game we love, really. At the moment, there seems to be a lot of negativity around, and and in a day, let's not forget that this is a game we all love. We may have different opinions, but let's face it, it's a game that does bring a lot of passion out, but it also brings a lot of love and actually brings a lot of people together. And I think that's a great things like these shows and all the other shows that we tune in through different formats. And I think we should just remember that we all love the game and we all want to talk about the great game that it is, and not kind of think about the negativity, who we want to play, who's injured, etc. Let's just enjoy it and have a great show today and continue positivity really going forward.
Absolutely. And I think probably maybe the last time you were on would have been one of the watch-alongs. I know you were on when we interviewed Eddie Spaghetti, and that's well over a year ago, possibly. Yeah. So it's been a while, but good to see you back on.
Appreciate
another returning guest. He just loves coming on here, and I've seen him laughing in the background at my Mac Attack joke about his ceiling and you being able to reach his jersey quite easily, Carl. My man Dion, welcome along. Good afternoon, sir.
It would help if it didn't mute your mic.
You're muted, young man.
Yeah, that would help, right?
See, it's not only me that makes the odd fuck up with the old.
I just love the.
situation.
I just love how intent Carl was when he said that. Like, he was very intent. He's like, it would help if you unmuted your fucking mic. No, he didn't curse. I feel like that's what he wanted to say. Nah, man, good to be in here with you guys. Hang out with you for a little bit, man. You know, Carl, I say get the goddamn jersey. Trey hasn't played a snap, and I bought a jersey. You see, Nick has one on, so this guy at least has been out there winning games for you. Your coach has said, you know, from the beginning of the season, Mac Jones is the man. He's going to be the one to take us. Although your division is absolutely fucking insane. I didn't think that they were good. Your division was going to be that good outside of the Jets, who are dumpster fire, but we all expected that. But
Well,
yeah, man, get the
to be
jersey,
fair-
bro.
To be fair, I had the Dolphins at 9 to 10 wins anyway, so I kind of knew it would be around about now. It would all start getting really messy, and the Patriots are what we thought they were at the start of the season as to now. They are a wild card team with a puncher's chance.
Hey,
That's
I'll
our
take
team.
it. That's how I look at it. Hey, if I got that opportunity, I'll take it. But yeah, good to see everyone, man.
So, how was your Christmas Arizona style?
No, Christmas was fantastic, man. Got a bunch of stuff. You know, the wife. This was my year to be with her family, so hung out, man. You know, had a good time. Got some good things. Gave away some good things. You know, she had been saying she wanted a tablet for a while, and I'd gotten her the tablet, and I knew I got it for her, but I just didn't want to tell her and kind of like ruin the surprise. So got her a tablet, a couple other things, you know, just blessed, man. Good times, good family. You know, you just keep on pushing.
Absolutely. And yeah, it sounds like we've all had a good Christmas. Bearing in mind, obviously, what happened, especially in this country last year. Literally, Christmas was Christmas Day. You couldn't have anyone staying overnight. You couldn't do any of that sort of jazz. And this year, it changed. So, yeah, it was all good. Don't forget, if this is your first time watching, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel out. Whether you like me or not, I don't care. Hit the like and subscribe, because that way I can annoy you even more. And apparently I love winding people up, because that's good. That's me. Don't like it, you don't have to watch. It's quite simple. Right, let's get into some NFL news. Now, Big Ben, for about the 5th season in a row, he's either going to retire because he's injured, or stories come out that this could be his last year, and like a bad penny, he comes back. Are we buying? I know I am, but are we buying this is Big Ben's last season in the NFL? Do you think the bell has finally rung on his career, or is this the usual sort of Big Ben stuff we see if he's got an injury and all of a sudden he makes a it's easy for me to say, miraculous recovery, and all of it, he's got a broken leg, and then within 3 days he's back playing again. Carl, are we going to see the last of Big Ben at Heinz Field this Monday night?
The bell was long overdue ringing in 2018. I don't think the way he's been performing, it's not been up to par. It's not been up to standards as a starting quarterback should do. Steelers fans will try and argue the fact his 4th quarter heroics this season have been prime Big Ben, but that's either A, when you're behind the chains so much, or there's nothing left to play for. I think this has to be the end for Big Ben Roethlisberger. He's gonna end up in Canton. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's gonna end up in the Hall of Fame. But the guy's done. The guy is done.
Funny thing is, you mentioned that, and I've had my most liked tweet earlier on, and it was a Muttley gif, because some clown in one of the tweets put that Big Ben is in the top 2 QBs of all time. top two of all time.
No. I could probably put
Joe Montana
7 or 8.
and Tom Brady might have something to say. But yeah, that's got over 100 likes, and that's been better than all of my rants or any of my FU to anything. Just a Muttley gif laughing at that guy has got me over 100 likes, which I think is hilarious because people say I'm on drugs. Madness. Before I bring you in, Nick, I just got to bring in Mark's joined us.
Hey.
Mark, good morning, probably good afternoon where you are, sir. How are you?
Good morning, good afternoon to everybody that's in the panel based on y'all time zones. What's up, Nick? What's going on, bro? Thanks for having me.
All good, man. All good. How was your Christmas? Spend it with family and friends?
Yeah, spend it with family. No complaints. Every day is a blessing. Thanks for asking. How about everybody's holiday?
All good.
Yeah, good fun, man.
Same here, man. Same here. All good times. All good times.
Peace.
All good.
Right.
Yeah, we're just going to go round a horn talking about Big Ben. Nick, what do you think? Fact or fiction?
It needs to be fact. His career's over. He can't carry this on much longer. The only way he carries on next year, really, for me, is if the Steelers take a look at the upcoming draft class for QBs and decide, nah, this is all shit, and see if they can try and bring a guy back. But that's about it. I can't see any other reason why he would be there.
Can I just say how professional you are?
With the horn,
the Big Ben alarm is going off. I don't know who's got the car alarm going off.
Who's got a car going off? It's got to be.
Do you want the irony? That's actually going off in the parking lot of the solicitors in the building opposite my building.
Get a brick and throw it through the window. That's what we like to see. Big Ben heard that we were dissing him, and all of a sudden, the Big Ben alarm goes off in the background. That's class. Mark, what do you think about Big Ben? Time to go. What do you think?
Let's put it this way: the bell's kind of ringing in it, and let's face it, that was fate before he even got going in this conversation with that in the background. So, but look, he's had a great career. Yeah, he wins Super Bowls. Quarterbacks would love to do that, but there is a time you got to listen to your body. There's a time where the game, is a younger man's game, I have to say, in the sense of there. And I think probably now is probably the time where he should go out with his head held high. He can look back at a career and go, yeah, I've had a good professional career, but now it's time to go out at the right time rather than just hanging in there for another season and actually having an absolute disastrous season or a really bad injury to end it all. I think it's is now probably the time just to say thank you and good night.
Yeah, I think sometimes players come to a stage where even they can't justify their play, possibly. And as Carl said, his fourth quarter heroics this year, if he goes out and that is his highlight, then fair play to him. But he hasn't been good for, I don't know. And a lot of people can say it's a system, etc. For probably 3 years, maybe a bit more. Dion, right time to hang it up, or what do you think?
Yeah, man, he should have hung it up a couple of years ago. I know Freddie will be heartbroken and distraught, and he may cry a couple of crocodile tears, but no one gives a shit. You already know, man. Like you see it, the guy just doesn't have it anymore. And sometimes you got to understand, when you're done. The late great Kobe Bryant said this. I want to go out on my own accord. I don't want to have to be dragged off the court. Like you want to know and understand when it's time to let go. Big Ben needs to let go, and the Steelers need to get a quarterback. And we have a quarterback that they can trade for. Jimmy is right there. Go ahead, Steelers. Take him. It'll give you a bridge for a couple of years. I'm just saying.
I don't think anyone's going to trade for Jimmy. As much as a lot of people think he's got trade value, I honestly, if he does, it's a 6th round or something, or a 7th or something. The way
Remember this. There's going to be someone desperate enough to give us a draft pick for Jimmy. The quarterback class coming out is trash. They don't have any good QBs. People will gamble. They've gambled on worse. But like this, Nick,
that's true.
In our own division, and I say this all the time, and maybe you guys have heard me say this, Sam Bradford robbed the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even held him up at gunpoint. Just came in and robbed that ass. Sam Bradford got in right before the new rookie wage scale and got $63 million and didn't earn not a penny of it. He was never fully healthy for a full season, his whole career, ever.
I was going to say, I don't think he ever played. Did he ever play a full season?
He never played a full season his whole career. He always played at a maximum 8 games, and for the rest of the season, he was out. Do you know that man has never seen a single-digit contract in his NFL career? So if Sam Bradford winds up working at a grocery store broke, then he's stupider than Jamarcus Russell. Because Russell fucked his money off so quick that it didn't make sense. But Bradford robbed the NFL. So if you take a flyer on a guy who is consistently injured as much as Bradford is, at least Jimmy could give you something. He may give you a full season. He may at least give you, 10 to 15 games. So it's not conceivable that there would be someone in the offseason.
I've never understood how Sam Bradford made all that money.
God dang, he's got a great agent. Whoever his agent is, kudos to him. And congratulations.
All you can say is respect to the agent, and I kind of begrudgingly respect him for bullshitting his way through his career and earning so much money. I'd love to be Sam Bradford. I would, because you walked away from the game, I don't know, with how many millions, and you're sitting in your nice house now laughing at people because they paid you all that money. Laughing. Because I would be. I'd be like Caesar in Rome back in the day, taking the piss with all that money, and I'd just be throwing it up in the air and laughing. Mark, what's your thoughts on forgotten his name? My God, who are we talking?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger. Sorry. What's your thoughts on Roethlisberger? The end, or he rides again?
I mean, if he wants to come back, come back. I mean, last year he did good. I mean, they was playing undefeated until further at the end of the season last year. Then things started to crumble, So I mean, hey, I mean, I respect I respect everybody's opinion on the panel. However, if he wants to play. But if he wants to hang it up, hang it up. Sometimes your body will let you know, or sometimes mentally, it can bother you to the point. And also, people around him, family and friends that are close to him, probably motivate him to hang it up. Because I can't forget that time. I think last year when he was sitting on the bench crying. I mean, the NFL is different for a lot of people, players, and fans. So, I mean, if he wants to play. I'm pretty sure. Well, I can't co-sign on it. Somebody probably might pick him up, but if they don't pick him up, hey, this is the NFL. This is a business. To us, it's sports, but this is a business. So my thing is, I mean, if you want to play. If you don't, hang it up. Hey, man, he represented another great organization. I'm gonna be honest. I've been a Niner fan since I was 9 years old in '87. I always respected the Steelers, of course, the 49ers. So I mean, hey, if you want to play, let them play. If you don't, hey, God bless you. Thank you for what you did to the NFL. Hey, we'll see what happens.
I think the big thing is, though, Mark, I honestly can't see him playing for another team. Would any other team take him? I don't. Again, that's another consideration. You know, I think his best days are behind him. I mean, what was the game I watched when they got absolutely whacked?
Was it
and
Cincinnati?
Was done by half time. It was restart.
It was Cincinnati,
Possibly.
I think it was.
And he was getting absolutely murdered behind that O line.
Trey Hendrickson has been their key star in that defensive line for the Bungles. He absolutely wrecked that offensive line single-handedly in that game.
And you know, again, kind of like a boxer, maybe. Let's use this analogy. Anyone who likes boxing, I think Muhammad Ali should have hung it up a long time before he got to the point of where he was. You know, one of the greatest of all time. Even Foreman went on too long. Larry Holmes went on too long. You know, I know I can get that it's very difficult to let go of something that you love. And people will tell you, you've still got it, you're the champ, you're this, you're that. But inside, there's got to be a point now where you think, I don't need this shit anymore. I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. You know, I haven't got, well, he never really had legs, let's be honest. I mean, yeah, okay, 10 years ago, he maybe had legs, but there's got to come a point, right, where you just think enough is enough. And I honestly think if it is his last hurrah, try and at least keep that Tomlin winning record thing going, because he's never had a losing season, etc. But don't fall on your sword while you still can, because you know there is a life after this game, and as I say, I can't see anyone else taking a punt on him, but B, that he'd actually go. I can't see it, but you know, who knows?
But if you think about it as well, it's giving up the locker room. If you think about someone who's been in a locker room for all them years, that camaraderie, yeah, suddenly you want to give that up. You suddenly, you say it's life after football, but some people, that's where they really, we talked about mental health earlier. That's where some players really struggle, because suddenly they've been looked after so well. They've got their teammates around them all the time. And sometimes, your heart is kind of, and your head are kind of contradicting each other a little bit. And that's probably sometimes some players, reason why they play on too long is because they just don't want to give up, which is something so great. And, and them as a team, and that is their life. And then suddenly, what is there now after? There is a lot after the game, obviously, but it's knowing what is it for them after, and what's their next step. And sometimes that's probably the hardest thing to give away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sorry, Nick. Were you going to say? Did you? Or was that an echo I just heard? I thought someone was just about to chime in with something. Okay. Couple of quick things. QB index has come out. We're going to do the top 15 very quickly. I'll run them down. If any of you disagree or agree with the list, let me know. 15, Russell Wilson. 14, Mac Jones. 13, Carson Wentz. 12, Ryan Tannehill. 11, Kirk Cousins. Number 10, and this is obviously based on stats, I'm guessing, Derek Carr. 9, Dak Prescott. 8, Matthew Stafford. 7, Kyler. There is trouble brewing with the Cardinals, Murray. 6, Mahomes. 5, Josh Allen. 4, Joe Burrow. 3, Justin Herbert. 2, Tom Brady. And number 1, Mr. Immunised, aka Aaron Rodgers. Anyone agree, disagree with some of those rankings there, or do we think that's a fair assessment of where we are up to this point of the season?
That's a ranking based on their stats.
Let me see what it says. I'm just having a look. Josh Allen, blah blah blah. No, I'm thinking it's based on that. It doesn't say, but obviously this is off of NFL Network.
Yeah.
Greg Rosenthal, QB NFL Index, Week 17. Joe Burrow and Josh Allen hit top 5, while Kyler Murray tumbles. Now, I've said for a few weeks, I think there is trouble brewing with the Cardinals. And I think there's a lot of issues got to be going down to Kyler Murray and his attitude and his petulance and things like that. I have sent you a link, Ryan. If you want to come on, I did just email you a link. And that could be an issue. And I did retweet something from one of the beat writers of the Cardinals saying that basically they're not convinced by Kyler Murray. His play, his injuries, his just the way he commands himself. And it's very, very telling. And I always think this whenever I watch games and a QB gets sacked or he falls over, whether the offensive linemen go and pick him up. And a few times I've seen Murray go down and no one has picked him up. And that, to me, is a kind of barometer, if you like, of how maybe people feel about him. Cole, what do you think?
Yeah, his behaviour has been a little bit erratic over the last 3 to 4 weeks or so. But then you also got to include the fact as well that DeAndre Hopkins has been out injured as well. And that's pretty much that's pretty much Kyler Murray's main go-to guy on that offense. Yes, they've got the likes of Christian Kirk, AJ Green, Zach Ertz coming into the fold. He's got James Conner and Chase Edmonds returning as well. But DeAndre Hopkins, you know, he's Mr. Eraser. You've only got to put the ball in the vicinity and he will come down and get it. And I think when you take him off the field, it kind of restricts Murray from his throws. He's trying to find the other guys, and they're not quite as sprightly. They're not as good as DeAndre Hopkins is. AJ Green is a prime example. How many times has AJ Green switched off on his routes? Too many times we've seen that happen. But I also think as well, you got to put Cliff Kingsbury in this as well, because, you know, he did get fired from Texas Tech with a losing record. I mean, it's not exactly like, you know, he came out one of the top 5 schools like, you know, Alabama or Clemson or Michigan or Ohio State or anywhere like that. He came out of Texas Tech. So the fact he gets put in, this was the question mark going into this season with Cliff Kingsbury. Can he actually make it with Kyler Murray? And throughout most of the season, they were answering the critics really well. They were 10-2 at one point. And it was like, this team is actually going to cause problems. And now it's all started to unravel a little bit. Now they've gone from being the top seed in the NFC to now being a wild card, which they've secured, but it's only a wild card now. I think with Kyler Murray, I think he's a tremendous athlete. I think some of the throws that he has made have been outstanding, but he's got bad deficiencies. Height is one of them because he's a midget. He's a squirrel. He can't look over the. This is why tall quarterbacks like Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning are like 6'4", 6'5", and upwards, and they can see over your offensive lines to actually see where you're going to look and throw the ball. Kyler Murray, he's actually ducking in between, so he can actually. This is why they use the running game so much, because Kyler Murray can actually scramble. When he scrambles, he's pretty hard to bring down because he's so bloody fast.
I have to say, and
I do agree with you, though. I think it is
heightist.
unraveling for the Cardinals.
I don't mean to be heightist, but he is short. and he does look a bit
Is it
silly
Dutz?
with that massive helmet on. He's a great kid. When he's on his game, he's a baller. He is a baller, and you
He is a
can't
baller.
deny that.
Mm.
And I agree with you, Carl, about Kingsbury. A lot of people have, and I said this, and okay, I was wrong saying they were going to finish last because unfortunately the Seahawks will.
Well, I actually had the Cardinals finishing third in the division, so I'm actually quite right
dear.
on this one.
To me, that's the funniest thing out of all of this is the Sea Chickens coming last. Nick, what's your thoughts on the Cardinals and Kyler? Do you think there is some disparity? Do you think that all these leaks and everything you read and see, and everyone sees it on Twitter, and insiders and that, do you think there's issues? And if there is, who's that down to?
I think that there is clearly issues. You can't go on the slide that they've gone on without there being something. I don't think Kyler's attitude is as much to do with it as Cliff Kingsbury is. When you look at there was a good graphic that's gone out on social media this week. Was it Cliff Kingsbury's first 8 games of charge of every season he's ever had, and his second 8 games of a season? He has never ever had a winning record in the second half of a season. So the guy's obviously he's good at putting together a game plan that'll get you through the first half. Then teams figure you out, and then he's simply incapable of adjusting, and his career stats prove that. You can't lie against those numbers. I think it's Kingsbury. I think the guy is not NFL standard. I don't think he can do it. I think he's been lucky that he's had a pretty decent quarterback, as much as it pains me to say it, in Kyler Murray. But that's about it. And as far as the short thing, when I went to Levi's 2 years ago, I was on the sideline of Levi's. I was 20 meters away from Kyler Murray, and I can promise you that man is no more than 5'8". He is a dud, an absolute dud. The guy didn't even get up to my height, and the guy's on a fucking stage. He's literally he's standing above where I am, and he still isn't even up to my height, even with a fucking helmet on.
Respectfully, he's 5'10".
He's not.
I'm going by the stats.
I understand. Yeah, he's not.
I'm going by the stats, and that's my peaceful pushback into Carl. He's 5'10". Doug Flutie was 5'10". Russell 5'11". It's all about the scheme, brothers. But just want to be fair based on the stats.
I'm gonna jump in for just a quick second. I'm 5'6". Okay. I've been to Cardinal games. Kyler Murray is 5'8" at best. I've stood next. Yeah. I've stood close enough to the man. He is. They are giving him a couple inches. The only reason that I say that is because I've literally seen it. I've been a few feet away. Me being 5'6", everybody taller than me. So when I see somebody and I look, I'm like, okay, I can tell if you're really that tall. I got a buddy of mine, who's about 5'9", and Kyler Murray is barely there. So I'm pretty sure he's about 5'8". I think they give it. I think when you look at his stuff online or something, or Wikipedia or whatever, they're telling you he's that. In real life, that man ain't 5'8". He is not that tall. I'm just saying that I've been to the Cardinal games. I'm starting to make it my thing because I live in AZ to go to the Cardinal games every single year when they play us. So yeah, it's odd because when you look in that huddle, man, everybody looks like a giant and he looks like a little guy.
He's so
Can I
small.
just say my stats on the Shank Club NFL Wikipedia page? I'm 6'5" and 170 pounds. So that tells you what fucking stats mean. Nothing.
Yeah, wingspan.
I wish I was 180. I mean, stats are for bats and cats, and I only say that because they rhyme. And I'm a poet, and I didn't know it. Mark, what do you think? Arizona and all that. What do you think? Do you think there is issues? Do you think it's being overblown to undermine them, or do you think that there is issues there?
Look, I think Murray's a decent QB. That's a fact. He's caused teams many troubles, yeah, and he's got the legs. He can get himself out of trouble, and he has caused the 49ers problems in the past. Yeah, frustrating as it has been. You've seen some games, and you're thinking, yeah, we've got him, and he just escapes the pocket and gets that throw in. So I think we've got to be careful with dishing the QB for talent, because I think he's got the talent. Attitude, look, that's always a difficult one, isn't it? Because until you actually know the person personally, I'm always a bit dubious about talking about attitude of a person, because you don't know what's going on in their life, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So there might be a bit of attitude there. But look, when a team starts losing what they're doing, if you think about the strength that the Cardinals have been at the beginning of the season, like I say, was it 10-2? I think at one stage they're at, and now what? 10-5. A team goes on a losing streak. Suddenly, there's a little bit of a blame game. Yeah, the fans are on the team's back. Things get leaked that maybe they shouldn't get leaked, and it just kind of starts blowing up a little bit. So, look, I think there may be some issues, but I think sometimes you've got to be honest in the old locker room. You sometimes got to say how it is, and maybe some players just don't like that. But as for the QB, like, he is talent, and let's face it, he could do in most teams. He can probably do well against, and he just he's not consistent enough, I suppose, to be what I call a top QB going forward. So look, Cardinals are in a lot of trouble at the moment, and yes, they've got the playoffs, but let's face it, the way they're playing at the moment, that would be their last game. The playoff, I think, unless they sort themselves out. So they brought some players in. We thought, hang on a minute, they brought some players in. We're thinking they're really going for it this year. They're looking strong. They're going to win the division. And suddenly now things are starting to come apart. Now, maybe is that because there's been brought too many new players in? I don't know. And I would just, I think on his day, great QB, just not consistent enough to make him a great QB.
Or tall enough. And someone's been on the Shank Club Wikipedia and has put me up to £300. Thank you very much, but I'm still 6'5". No fucker changed that. Thank you very much. Right. Now, and I was actually going to change my name on here to @Jimmy Garoppolo's Thumb. Just because I like shits and giggles. Now, who do we believe in this situation? Do we believe what Shanahan said yesterday about, it wasn't mentioned to him about a fracture, it was a sprain, it was this, it was that. And people have been going nuts on Twitter. We all saw that yesterday, right? With when it was put out that he could go Sunday, and everyone went fucking nuts. And then he was going to practice and he didn't practice, and everyone went fucking nuts. And no one knows anything. And this is getting really murky now. The waters are getting very, very muddy on this whole situation. You had John Lynch apparently in church and sat on his phone and liked a tweet, which, again, I don't know. I would be shocked if he actually did like that tweet, bearing in mind he is a high up member in probably one of the highest, third in command maybe at the 49ers. To do that would be ridiculous. I think his excuse was quite lame. But I don't know. It's all murky. Carl, you've been viewing it from the sidelines, so to speak. Who would you believe? And what do you think about the fact that John Lynch allegedly liked the tweet about leaving Jimmy Garoppolo back in Tennessee. What's your, being an outsider, obviously, what's your take on all of this?
As you said, this is, of all of the franchises that I follow on Twitter right now, the 49ers is one of the most toxic at this minute in time with what's going on between the two QBs. It says along the lines of, like, even before the draft, there was talks of John Lynch wanting Trey Lance, but Shanahan wanting Mac Jones. That we'll never, ever find out. It just seems to be, I don't know whether or not John Lynch has just counted down the days for when Jimmy G finally decides to depart after the season's ended. But you're in a situation now. I mean, if you was dead and buried in the water like Seattle, you had no hope of making the playoffs, and then you put Lance in, it wouldn't. No one would say boo to a goose. But because the Niners are in this situation now, where you are probably 90% certain now you're going to get a wild card spot, it just feels like it's always a lot of arguments saying that we can do better with Trey Lance and not with Jimmy G at this minute in time. I will say on the record, I did watch the full extent of the game against the Titans last week, and Jimmy G had one of his worst games. That was one of his worst games he played. I've seen in a long while from him. The 2 interceptions he threw, one to Jack Rabbit, that was a poor throw, and the second one, Nathan Peterman probably could have made a better throw, but that was just disastrous. And there was 2 other plays as well. The wheel route that was thrown to Kyle Juszczyk, he absolutely overthrew him by 5 yards. And the 4th down conversion, which I don't know whether or not you could blame Jimmy G for that, or that was just Brandon Ayuk playing as one of those deflector walls you get in the Sonic the Hedgehog game where it just bounces off him. I don't know.
No, that was Jimmy's fault. That was Jimmy's fault because he stopped. Kyle tried to downplay it, and I'm gonna let you finish your point. But that was very simple. He tried to downplay it in the post game presser, talking about, oh well, the receiver either has to sit down or keep going. He sat the fuck down. He stopped moving. How do you miss somebody that's not a moving fucking target? It just baffles me. How you go out there and literally make the case for Brandon Ayuk, but then try to make it seem like, oh, well, no, it wasn't a bad thing on Jimmy. It was Brandon. I stood there like a fucking statue. I didn't move. All you gotta do is throw me the ball. Brandon Ayuk is known to bounce off of players consistently. He could have bounced off someone, got that first down, and keep drive going. But Kyle's got to make Jimmy look good. So continue by all means.
Thank you. So those are the 2 interceptions, 33, which are bad throws from him. Also, as well, watching that first half, the Niners should have killed the Titans then and then. But this time it was bad quarterback play and bad decision making, and the execution was just not there. And in the second half, Tennessee come back in, and the secondary is not great. Ambry Thomas, I know he's a rookie in that, but he was getting burned alive by AJ Brown. AJ Brown, 145 yards of the TD on the secondary. That's not good. That's not good at all. So
I think, sorry, Carl, to butt in. I also think that Tennessee came out after the half and changed their game plan and the way they played on offense and defense. The whole thing changed. And, Ambry Thomas is he is a rookie, and he's been there or thereabouts on a lot of plays. But yeah, him, Josh Norman were getting torched. And it kind of reminded me a bit of the last drive against Green Bay, where they knew exactly where to target, who to hit, and you knew that last drive. And I mean, the killer was that 33-yard run. I think it was 33.
Yeah, that was in the fourth. That was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
that literally iced the game.
That
literally iced the game.
Exactly. And I don't blame the defense. And a lot of the blame goes to Jimmy. A lot of the blame goes to Kyle. But we've seen it time and time again where the Niners have been in games and Jimmy blows it, or the defense doesn't help themselves. Alex Mack giving up that holding penalty and false starts and things like that that put you behind the 8 ball, and it makes it harder. And this is the thing, just before I let you carry on, sorry, Carl, this Sunday, this offensive line, if Trey Lance is behind it, God help those offensive linemen, because we're going to get held, holding calls, we're going to get false start. And this isn't bashing Trey. This is a new QB comes in, and we saw it in the Arizona game. Illegal men downfield because obviously they're jumping and doing whatever. And that's I hope they iron that out this week. If it is Trey, they need that offensive line need to sort their shit out, because we can't in this game afford to take the Texans lightly, and they need to sort their shit out. Sorry, Carl, I digressed. Carry on.
No, it's fine, mate. So that game for Jimmy last week wasn't a good one at all. I don't try and protect Jimmy Garoppolo or any sort of quarterback if you play a bad game, okay, unless it goes over a certain amount of time. But I think the way it says right now, Jimmy G apparently has a thumb injury. He hasn't. No one fucking has a clue, because it's just coming out of Kyle Shanahan saying, yep, he is good to go. Some people say, no, he's not good to go. I don't know. But you are right with the offensive line, because that's what happened to us when we had Cam Newton. We had Tom Brady behind us for 20-odd years, and we were able to make just a perfect line to actually help protect him. When you got a mobile quarterback, you need to move pieces around. And unfortunately, for the first 4 weeks, when we had Newton, we had a lot of holding calls on our offensive line. And that's going to be a little bit that's going to be a change of culture that will happen into 2022 when Trey Lance does start. And I think, the Niners, they need to be a little bit more. Look at the way I see it, okay? Yeah, losing to Tennessee was not a good one. But you played the Texans this week. You should get the dub over the Texans. God fucking help me if you don't. Okay? And then you got the Rams in week 18, which should be a dead rubber match. And you should be able to probably put Trey in for that final game as well. Just give him a little bit of muscle tissue. But the Niners have got the destiny in their own hands here, and they can't afford to make any more slip-ups. If Jimmy G is the person that throws that final interception which kills their game, then you somehow lose to the Texans, anarchy is gonna hit social media all over the place. But
we already have anarchy. We already have anarchy and
sorry, what is the term of
torches?
Sorry, apathy is what I meant to say. So
anarchy and apathy, it's all happening.
But
yeah, interesting interesting your take there, Carl. Nick, what's your take on all of this whole shit that's been going on? With liking tweets, he's playing, he's not playing. Everyone did the bigger, and again, which I thought was quite laughable. Everyone, as soon as he was not allegedly, as soon as he was injured, the Trey machine went into overdrive with get Trey starting, Trey this, Trey that. Do you think that then they will Jimmy G, and I've seen this, that they will Jimmy G out? I've got a chance of playing this, that, and the other, to dampen the fervor, to confuse it. I mean, everyone knows what Jimmy G is going to do, right? And no one knows what Trey Lance is going to do. So what's your take on all of this shit that's gone on over the last, since Monday?
Yes, social media has been rather fun, hasn't it? Let's be honest. Like the amount of times I've accidentally liked tweets is insane. Like, I'm quite happy to believe it was an accident. It is what it is. As for what the players say regarding things like injuries, or even the coaches, whatever they say, I don't put a bloody cent behind any of it. The whole point is misdirection. They're not going to tell their next opposition what's going on. Why would you? I wouldn't. I promise you, if I was ever on the stand podium for anything like that, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't be able to believe a damn thing I'd say, because I promise you less than 10% of it would be true. Why would you give these people the leg up?
When your flag football team reads the scouting report when they play your team, they know that you're going to be doing your little pirouette dancing on ice moves. So they'd have to watch for that, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, of course. And the speeds and the intensity. Something else.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You see, now your speed is obviously deceptive, right? You're a 4.40 guy. Everyone knows that. We've all seen the clip. And 4 hours. 4 hours 40, not 4 seconds 40. By the way.
Well, yeah, all right, but that particular time there was a Weatherspoons halfway. I stopped for a pint. That's not my fault, is it? Leave me be. I gotta have a rest.
Anyone that passed the Weatherspoons would find it very, very difficult not to stop. But yeah, all this. And Mark, you have been very silent on Twitter on all these things. Probably because you don't want to get into a shit show like I got into yesterday with that motherfucker that really wanted to start some shit. And I've just read something, and it's very interesting because I've just had a reply to something yesterday. The fuck they all put in your tea and crumpets. I don't even eat crumpets. So I don't know what that guy's on about. Bizarrely. What's your thoughts, Mark? What's going on with, is it being leaked again? And bearing in mind, when Harbaugh, Balky, and that scenario was all over, the leaks kind of stopped. But they seem to have, for some reason, over these issues for the last however long week or so, not even that, 4 days, have started again. What are your thoughts on all of this?
This Mark or which Mark?
Sorry, Mark. I mean English Mark. Sorry, I forgot. I've got 2 Marks. Sorry. I'm such a professional. I don't even pay attention to who's in here. Sorry, American Mark, Faithful 87, coming to you shortly. Sorry, City Boy 100. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I think life is too short to worry about it. To watch, there's so much more going on in the world that it makes me kind of think, well, do I need to get into any kind of arguments about who should be started, Because first and foremost, look, I'm a Niners fan. Yeah, I get up at silly hours in the morning wanting the Niners to win. I don't, whoever's playing, I don't want my team to lose because one, it's a bloody long night and I've got to work the next day without any sleep. So, it's kind of, it is a tough thing to do and watch, this Niners through the hours. But look, looking at the QBs at the moment, that's the biggest talking point at the moment, isn't it? And that's quite, and that's the very toxic, and it's, and it's quite depressing in a way that how many people have almost fallen out over something that when we should be getting behind the team and supporting the team. Look, we all know that, when Garoppolo gets the ball and he airs it, you worry, yeah, because he either's going to nail it or he's going to get intercepted. Yeah, you know, you're going to put your hands in your head and just pray that that ball gets there. Yeah, where the Niners have been successful, on my opinion, is of the run game. Yeah, so what happened for me? Our first couple of games we won. I thought great, we're looking good, but we kept it simple. Then we started to air it a little bit, and few interceptions, few games lost, and then we thought, oh, here we go again. Back to the run game, and then suddenly that's where our strengths are. We all know what's problems regarding the corners at the moment, so we need to keep the offense on the pitch as long as possible to give our defense a bit of a break, because we need to be creative, because we need to actually fill the gaps with the corners, because we know that teams have seen the tapes, they're going to attack them corners, aren't they? So we need to be creative. But the problem we've had, a couple of games is where the defense have only just gone off the pitch and back on again because silly interceptions, not playing the right calls. And for me, that is where I think the biggest fall down is at the moment, is how we set up. And we know that we're going to set up with Jimmy. To be honest, it's going to be more the run game than them throwing it, because we know we get a little bit worried. And things don't happen, and suddenly the defense is back on, and the defense has had a lot of work to do. So, look, for myself, I really want to see Trey come on. I think he's going to be such a talent. He's probably going to be a next year talent. The way, unfortunately, and whether we like it or dislike it, he's probably going to be a next year talent, because they've got it in their heads that they want Jimmy to go through. Now, this injury, he probably has got an injury to watch, but like I think Nick said earlier, he ain't going to say anything, is he? He ain't going to say, "Oh yeah, he's definitely 100% out," because at the moment, the other team's got to start thinking about, right, we've got to prepare for 2 quarterbacks, and they're 2 very different quarterbacks, yeah. So they're going to start planning that for now, and then when it comes to game day, suddenly it's a quick turnaround of, right, this is this game plan rather than the other game plan. But I actually believe Trey's going to be starting personally, and I'm actually quite excited to see him. I really am. Probably not the ideal game, and probably is the ideal team if you think about it, because if there's going to be a team where you're thinking, yeah, he could probably tear them apart, this is probably going to be the team. Yeah, this is where we can start seeing some magic. And if Jimmy does start, I will support Jimmy 100%, because at the end of the day, for me, I'm a Niners fan. Yeah, and at the end of the day, all I want is the Niners to win. Yeah, and if we can analyze it end of the season, and we can do what we want there. And look, I think I know you said earlier, Nick, that we don't think we're going to get anything for Jimmy, in the off season. I think we are going to get some picks too, because there are some teams desperate for QBs, and the college football, I haven't seen much QBs coming out of that thinking, yeah, we'll take them, compared to obviously this draft season. So I think we're going to be surprised, and I think some of the stats, they'll look at some of the stats that Jimmy has done, and they've been okay, and they'll probably think, yeah, he could do a job. And by doing that job, we will probably get some of our picks back. And let's face it, we're going to have to strengthen. We're going to have to pay some guys definitely in the off season as well. So I think for me, Trey's probably going to start in this game. Personally, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be different, and I think for us, it's going to be, I think it's the future. We're going to see the future there, and I think there'll be a lot to be excited about. Jimmy is probably just what I call Mr. Safe Hands. Yeah, you know what you're going to get with Jimmy, and whether you like it, whether you dislike it, he's won some games this year. Thank you, that's great. Probably going to get a playoff. Fantastic. At least we can, we probably can say, it's been an okay season. But let's look at it now, and let's basically face it that we're in for a couple of interesting games, and then let's see what the playoffs brings. And sadly, if Garoppolo is fit, pretty sure they're going to start him. But if the injury is what it could be, then we could be in for a bit of Trey magic over the next few weeks. And let's see if he's ready, because think about it as well. Shanahan's playbook is probably the most difficult one to learn and understand. He's had plenty of time to look and understand these playbooks now. So again, it's now thinking to bring it in there. And yeah, our offensive line have got to be really good to protect him. But if they can do that, it will allow him to use his arm. And I tell you what, that will be something special seeing some of that.
Definitely. Denise makes a couple of good points. Hi, fellas. Happy New Year to you all. Thank you, Denise. Same to you. Hope you had a good Christmas. Hope you have a great holiday. Stay safe and go Niners. And she also says, that is why the Niners moved up last year, because they knew this QB class was going to be weak, which I think everyone will agree. And last point, also, if Rodgers and Russell Wilson stay where they are, Jimmy will have trade value. And I agree to that to a point. My only thing would be, Dion, and I'll bring you in. Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo would flourish in another system where we then see him next year and scratch our fucking heads and say, why couldn't you do that here? Is it that simple? Because I'm
only in a run-heavy system. He can only go to a team that's in a run-heavy offense. But if you can't, but name me a team right now as a run-heavy offense, but their quarterback is shit. Baltimore are already good to go. That one. Cincinnati are pretty decent. Buffalo are decent.
You can't put Buffalo in there because they don't run the damn ball. Buffalo don't even run the ball.
No, but they use
if they sort that offensive line out, the Steelers with Najee Harris would make some sense. But I think their play calling has been trash, possibly. I mean, and that's just off the top of my head. But Dion, what do you think quickly regarding obviously what's been going on with Jimmy G's thumb, the leaks, the non-leaks, the who knows what the Canel's going on leaks?
I to be honest with you, man, I'm frustrated with the situation. Period. It pisses me off because I get tired of watching Kyle go out there and support a quarterback who continually screws up. Like I was on Facebook and there was a guy basically put up a whole long ass message about how if you don't support Jimmy, you're not a Niner fan. Let me tell you something. We are a franchise that is lauded around the NFL. Like, we one of the first franchises you mentioned. If somebody says the NFL and somebody says name a team from the NFL, the 49ers are very highly likely to come out. Probably the 49ers, Cowboys, even the Raiders, as bad as they suck. You know, these are names that will pop up. Here's my thing. Jimmy, if you're injured, sit your ass down. Stop trying to come out here and play. You already inaccurate as it is. I don't need you to get on the field with your inaccurate ass with a fucked up thumb so you can't grip the ball. Then you're going to blame how you screw up and your inaccuracies on the fact that your thumb was messed up. Sit down. Let the kid play. I understand that when that kid steps on the field, you feel like that is the end of your tenure as a 49er. For me, that would make me happy because I'm tired of watching him go out there and fuck us out of games. Carl was correct earlier when he said we should have been up 21-0. We should have. How do you miss Juice standing there wide the fuck open? How do you obviously throw the interception directly to the damn defensive back when you see that George is that inside, the inside leverage is gone? It's inconsistent. He's consistently inconsistent, and it gets annoying and it gets bothersome. With Kyle, stop putting him on a fucking pedestal. My biggest issue is Jimmy had the nerve to go out there and say that was a team loss. He couldn't even own his own mistakes. Why is it that Trey Lance came out there after that Cardinals game and owned everything? This was on me. This was my fault. I should have been better. Me. But if there's a win, he can say the team. So why is it Jimmy can't do that? Why is Jimmy void of the slander that you gave Deebo Samuel, the slander that you gave Brandon Ayuk, all of the shit you talk about, all the other people on the team, but Jimmy magically seems to be void of that. Bill Belichick didn't give Tom Brady a fucking pass. I can guarantee you that shit. So,
Dion, do you know what I think? Sorry to interrupt. Do you know what I think that is? And I'm not talking about Jimmy. I'm talking about Trey now. I think it's an age thing, as in he's young and he knows, or he doesn't know, maybe how to play the media game. And I'm not saying Jimmy's right or wrong, but he did come out and he said it was me, it was my fault, it was this, that, and the other. I just think it's but maybe because he hasn't been in the media long enough to know how it works, and Jimmy smiles a lot and BS's his way, the same as Kyle does, and they kind of get it. And he's a rookie with dealing with questions. Maybe I don't know.
Here's how I'm looking at it. The reason I stated what I stated was because as a rookie and as a vet, you take responsibility for your mistakes. You do not allow yourself to go up to the podium. I don't think Jimmy G is playing the media in any way. He blames the team for any and every loss. Like, he does not go out there and own his shit. He never has. So if Trey is a young rookie and he knows that, that tells me that as a widely vet, when he gets older, he's going to continue to be doing the same things. You ever seen Tom Brady at the podium go out there and lay a stinker, throw 2 or 3 interceptions, and blame the Bucs for it? I'll be good and goddamned if you have. Tom Brady would look and say, I screwed up. I didn't play well enough for us to win. I'm sorry. I need to apologize to my team and tell them that I screwed up. Jimmy ain't playing the
I've
media.
seen Tom
Jimmy
Brady
is
throw
basically
a
he's
tablet or two.
deflecting the information. He's deflecting the loss onto them, and that's not fair. Jimmy, you threw 2 interceptions that screwed us out of the game. Jimmy, you went out there playing with a bum thumb, and you knew it. And your coach let you play because why? You couldn't feel it because of the adrenaline that's rushing through your body as you're playing football. We all understand
Okay.
when you out there and you playing and you stop. Once you stop, that's when the pain sets in. That's when you're like, oh shit, this hurts now. But while the adrenaline is
One
flowing,
question,
your body doesn't. The sensors don't go off in your mind.
Dion, one question before we move on to Mark Faithful 87 for you. Why, and bearing in mind, everyone pretty much knows this is Garoppolo's, if he plays or not Sunday and doesn't play the next week, whatever. So, you know, he's going to go out on a loss. Why aren't the players, the other players that they put up there, why aren't they in, I wouldn't say sticking it to him because that's obviously not good teamwork.
Because
whatever.
you can't.
But
you
yeah,
cannot.
but what it,
you
but
praise.
it doesn't.
Look, there's a guy, and not to cut you off. There's a phrase out there, and I'm not sure I'm saying this properly, so don't quote me on it. Praise in public, destroy in private. There's something to that effect.
But do you?
I can't go to the podium.
Do you think that the likes of Kittle and Juice and I don't know whoever get wheeled out there and then they go back in the locker room and they're like, Jimmy, you motherfucker, you fucked up again, you fucking idiot. Behind closed doors.
Kittle's his biggest supporter. Kittle just came out and openly said Jimmy will be on the field on Sunday. Kittle supports Jimmy.
Again, is that not manipulating the media and the situation?
Nope. Let me tell you exactly what's happening.
As much as Kittle probably does like Jimmy, when Jimmy's gone, does it then make it okay to throw him under the bus?
No. Here's the thing. This is what I will tell you, and I've watched this from afar, and I'll let Mark Faithful go ahead and speak. This is the situation. It's just like I said. Praise him in public, destroy him in private. The thing is, nobody's holding him accountable. George Kittle ain't walking in the locker room and telling them, stop throwing me hospital balls. Don't throw me balls that get me hurt. When I come out of my break, the ball should be on his way. Nobody is holding Jimmy Garoppolo accountable for anything that he does. He's walking around there letting it happen freely. And Kyle obviously isn't doing shit because he's allowing it in the public and he's showing it. He'll tell you he's mad after an interception or he's bothered by this. But then you come to the podium and have the nerve to say, oh, well, you know, it's a question mark on whether, you know, Ayuk stops or he keeps running. He stopped. What do you mean? So my biggest issue is you can talk crap about other players. Your GM can talk crap about other players and say this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, none of you guys are holding this man accountable. You are basically letting him walk around and do whatever the hell he wants, screw games up, and then telling us as fans to suck it up and like it. I won't trust that Trey Lance is the starter until I see his ass on the field on Sunday because I don't trust what Kyle said. I know that Kyle, for a fact, is going to lie to us at every turn. And I do not in any way, shape, or form believe that Kyle is playing the media or playing the Texans and making them prepare for 2 quarterbacks. Let me tell you something. If I'm a defender, I want Jimmy Garoppolo on the field. It's going to be easy pickings for me, and I know my D-line could possibly feast on him at some point because he's going to make a dumb decision, and he's a statue in the pocket. I don't want Trey Lance out there. He's an enigma. He's an anomaly. I can't go off of what happened in Arizona because that's not going to be the exact same game plan. All I'm saying is, for me, personally, I don't want to see Jimmy take another snap for this team. If Trey Lance hits the field on Sunday, let that be the end of the Jimmy Garoppolo era. Let that man get healthy, go to another team. I wish him nothing but the best. But I have a feeling Trey Lance could go out there and light up the damn Texans, and the next week Jimmy's healthy, and then Kyle turn around and put his ass back out there. It doesn't make sense. Like there's no, you can't tell me that it makes sense when you see a young kid that has all the tools. Fred Warner's out there backing him. Kyle said he had the best month of practice. John Lynch said that he's been looking great. Fred Warner came out in his interview the other day and said, "Hey, man, we appreciate, I pulled him to the side and let him know, hey, man, I need you to bring it down a notch. Make your plays from the pocket, do the things." We were talking when we had Jesse Sapolo, he was talking about the transition from Montana to Young. It's going to be a bumpy ride because you have a guy who moves and shifts and moves the pocket, and you have to adjust. But they adjusted and they won a Super Bowl because of it. We're not winning a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. We never will. He can't do it. We took the ball out of his hands in our playoff run to get to the Super Bowl and made the runners do it. And then magically we put the ball in his hands in the Super Bowl like he about to turn around and find out how to be a quarterback. I'm sorry, man. I get everybody's take on Jimmy, and I respect everybody's opinion. Mine, respectfully, stay your ass off the field. I don't want you on my team. I'm tired of watching you screw up and never be held accountable by the powers that be.
Fair enough. And Mr. P-Town, thank you for A, watching the show, B, screenshotting me wearing a Trey jersey and telling everyone that I'm a fraud. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Mark, Faithful87, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man. I'm listening to my brother Dion, and I agree with him, man. It's funny based on what he said. We had a show with my brothers on Monday, and I was talking about when they had a mic up for Jimmy, and he was like a hype man, and I was like, yo, where is this when we lose? You so hyped up knowing that you got the mic, you're hyping up your brothers, your soldiers on the sideline, on the field. I'm like, yo, where is this at the podium when you mess up? Okay, granted, if you're not that type of person to own up for your responsibility and mistakes, okay, we can take that. However, he's a two-time champion. And the reason why I say that, he experienced how to win a championship by watching and also following Tom Brady. And the key, watching, you watch how Tom Brady prepares, and you also watch how he handles himself as far as communicating with your team in a locker room, on the sideline, and on the field. So my thing is this: it's like, okay, well, maybe that's just not him. Maybe he's not the type of person to own up to his mistakes. Maybe, or maybe he just playing the media and just saying, hey, this is us. We need to correct this. We need to correct that. Not saying that he said that, but he always used the word we, as we agree. So with that said, maybe he's mentally tough. Or maybe he says that in private in a locker room to the point that we don't know. But when he go to that podium, it's a different kind of image. His image is everything when it comes to business, So with that said, I think it's that. And that what I'm thinking is that maybe that's just not him. What we want from him, we may not ever get it. So I don't really want to push someone to be someone that they're not. If you're not a type of person to own up to your mistakes and always just use the word we, then so be it. I have no problem with that. I mean, he's been with us since late 2017 till now. And I believe and think that last Thursday was his last starting game. This is my humble opinion based on the latest facts of what we have regarding his thumb. I'm only going by the latest facts. You know, you brothers on the panel may probably know more than me or probably have a different opinion than me. I respect that, whether he's injured or not, but I'm only going by the latest facts on his thumb. It's a torn ligament in this area. It's either here or in here. I can't remember which one it was, but it's torn.
You got it right, and that's exactly what it is. That spot that you pointed to, the first part, is like right in the curve of the thumb. And you're right. Yeah, when that ligament is torn, it's surgery and a 5 to 6 week recovery.
Exactly.
Along with, if you don't do surgery, the one thing that doctors were saying, and not to interrupt you, but the one thing doctors were saying is that, and this is just in medical terms, when you have a sprain, it's worse than an actual tear. Why? Because sprains can linger and continue to bother you. A tear can just be replaced.
Right.
But you're right in what you're saying, man. The injury report is there, and nobody can avoid that.
Yeah. And just to throw me in there, when I used to play Pop Warner, I sprained my ankle. Okay, so I'm just going to use.
I thought I'd frozen. Carry on. Sorry.
No problem. I'm just going to use me for example, just a little bit. When I played Pop Warner and I sprained my ankle, my coach, he used to come visit me and he used to tell me, like, Mark, I'm glad I'd rather you break your ankle than sprain it, because they always said a sprain is worse than something that's broken. So let's just move past that. I just gave that for example. So back to Jimmy and Trey. I don't think Jimmy's playing. I think, brothers that's faithful on the panel regarding the Niners, Jimmy's last game, I think, was last Thursday. And I think he knows it. Of course, he don't want it, but I think he knows it. I believe that Trey will start Sunday. And I think and I believe that it's going to be an exciting moment because we got to expect the unexpected. I think and believe you brothers also know Trey can do as good as what Jimmy G does or better. Respectfully, always looked at Jimmy since last year as like a C quarterback to me. I always gave him a B when he did situational plays to get us the first down or a touchdown. But he was always that average quarterback for me. This is just me. I always gave him that C grade. So with that said, you know, with Trey Lance, being that he's a rookie, I believe he can give more. Maybe a C plus, maybe a B minus, however you want to grade it. That's just where I'm coming from. I'm just excited to see Trey. You know, I believe you brothers on the panel that represent the Niners are excited to see Trey. Listen, whatever happens on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, it's going to happen. Any team could win. It's all about preparation and execution on the field. So, yes, we got great players on paper and also on the field. And listen, let the best player play that is available. And with that said, I think Trey Lance is the best player that's available, that's healthy to play. So let him play and go Niners, man. You know, it's going to be special on Sunday.
Just before we get into picking games, because I know a lot of people do look forward to us picking games and doing Lone Wolves, I've got to read this tweet and a response. It is quite funny. So Jack Hammer, who is on Grant Cohn's show, does his own channel, etc., tweeted this. Takeo Spikes on KMBR. I believe Jimmy G gives the 49ers the best chance to win in the playoffs. And then a Grant Cohn burner account called Grant Gone replied, somebody put Takeo Spikes in the blue tent.
Yeah, he got a damn.
You need.
He got a concussion. Jimmy gives us the best chance to win in the playoffs. I see that. That's. I'll say this really quick before we start picking the games, because this kind of sticks in my craw, and I feel for the dude because it doesn't make sense. George Kittle is one of the biggest Jimmy G supporters. He came out there for God's sakes. Now look, all of y'all on the panel, y'all cool. I like y'all. But I'd be good and goddamned if I wear a shirt with your face plastered on it while you in some fucking boxer briefs. That's what's not about to happen. I'm not doing it. Sorry. I like you. I don't like you that much. He comes out and supports this guy week in and week out. But you openly admit that the guy don't even communicate with you. He can't return a phone call. He can't return a text. But this is your dude. I'm going to tell you right now, man. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. I got about 3 homies. 3. Actually, I take that back. I got 4. 4 dudes that I fuck with on a consistent basis. And I can call them at any moment and they'll pick their phone up. And if they don't pick their phone up, they'll get back to me. That's how small my circle is. You know what I'm saying? And if one of my boys starts doing that, first thing I need to know is what's going on with you. I'm worried about you. I want to make sure you good. Because if I really look at you like that, if you my brother and I look at you like that, then I'm concerned. Now, if you're just an acquaintance and we work together and you stop talking to me, I ain't going to hit you up no more. I can care less. This is a job. This ain't no adventure. That's what it is. You know? So for me, you go to bat for this dude on a consistent basis and he don't even call you back. He don't return your text. He done got you injured twice. He can't even throw the ball accurately to you. Like, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. You know, that's not cool. Think about it like this. Nick, if you keep hosting the show and you're saying that Carl is your co-host, but Carl just stopped showing up for shows and he never gets back to you, and then randomly he'll show up once and then maybe he just doesn't show up again, and, you know, maybe he shows up and then maybe, you know, in the middle of the show he just drops out. Is that cool? No. So why is Kittle so enamored with helping out Jimmy? He's going to be on the field on Sunday. I know he is. George, I'm going to need you to sit down, bro. Calm down, okay? I know you like Jimmy. It's fine. He's, you know, he's got a nice jawline or whatever and all that other shit. But look, man, if the guy's injured, he don't need to be on the goddamn field. And we don't need to be trying to play the damn media. At the end of the day, on Sunday, we'll see who actually walks out there. And I pray to God it's Trey Lance. I pray that Mark Faithful is right, because I am tired of watching this dude screw my team up. I can't do it no more. But sorry, it just had to get that out.
To be honest, Dion, to your point, that's Carl to a T. So I'm used to his shit. I'm only joking. He knows.
Don't worry, Carl. You know we ain't got that.
Almost
cracked
for
you and Mac Jones, man. You know, look, Mac is the best rookie QB out of all of them right now. You can't say that Trey Lance is, because you can't give him 2 games and call him rookie of the year. It's not going to work. But Mac has worked out very well for you. I'm happy that he worked out for you. And I'm happy that they caught him slipping when he got drafted and hugged Roger Goodell and said, this is where I wanted to go anyway.
Didn't have a choice to say.
Yeah,
that
but he
drafted. Right.
Yeah, but he has hit
Carl.
a brick wall. The last 2 weeks he has hit a brick wall. So anyway. So Nick, you were saying?
His brick wall is the ceiling and he can touch it, but hashtag just saying. Let's pick some games. Eagles versus the WTF. Carl, choose.
Eagles. Anybody saw the shit show that the Washington football team put on Sunday Night Football was an absolute travesty. They're done. Stick a fork in it. They're done. So I'm taking Philadelphia.
Fork in it. Like it. Nick.
Sorry, mouse didn't want to work. Yeah, Eagles.
Mark UK City Boy 100. There you go. To give you your full title.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. I can't see it. I can't see the Washington doing anything, I'm afraid. So yeah, definitely Eagles.
Dion?
For playoff seeding purposes, I must go with the Washington football team. I now understand that your conference record is going to trump your head-to-head. So I need the Washington football team to show up, show out, and beat the shit out of the Eagles. Just for our playoff purposes, to help us.
Mark, faithful.
Yeah, I agree with my brother Dion. My neighbor, he's a Washington fan. And not only because of that, I'm going with Washington. And based on that image that, with the, altercation between the brothers on the field, as a fan of the NFL, you don't want to see that, but you understand it, However, I have a younger brother. He's a 49er fan. I have a youngest brother. He's a Buccaneer fan. I can also say that I've never put my hands on my brothers physically, and you never really want to see that. I really don't condone it, but everybody's different. I just hope that they can turn that around with a win against the Eagles. So I'm picking Washington.
And in the media,
Definitely.
he addressed that, and he basically said, look, man, just a little disagreement between brothers, we good. That's how you handle something like that. You approach it just like that. Yeah, tell them, look, I ain't got to give you details on what's going on. Everybody can ask me the same dumbass question because that's what the media does. But he said, look, man, there's a little disagreement between brothers. We solid. Ain't nothing wrong. Still my guy. And that's how you work that out as men.
I'm definitely going with WTF based purely on obviously what Mark Faithful and Dion said. We need WTF to step up. I know they're injured, COVID, all that jazz, but come on, just give the Niners a break. Just help us out, please. I would really like that to happen. Rams, Ravens. Now, I wonder who I'm going to pick. I'm going Ravens. Fuck the Rams. Carl?
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. The Ravens are just I can't, as I said, I can't put my finger on them all season long, and now the injuries have now caught up to them. So I'm taking the Rams. Taking the Rams.
Nick?
I want to put as much bad juju in the air for the Rams. I'm going Ravens. Fuck the Lambs.
Mark?
I can't stand the Rams, but I can't see them losing to the Ravens. Oh, yeah, it's going to be the Rams. Sadly, it hurts me to say, but yeah, the Rams.
That was a big collective sigh for all of the Rams haters. Dion?
As much as I have it in my mind and kind of know the reality, I don't know if Lamar is playing. I don't think he is. Once again, playoff seeding purposes, I got to go with the with the Ravens. I'm gonna take the Ravens to win this one. I don't know how. I don't care how. I don't care when. Get the damn job done.
Mark Faithful?
You know me, Nick. I don't mess with the Lambs, man. I'm going with the Ravens. I don't care where they play at. I'm going with the Ravens, even though we should have won that Super Bowl in 2012. But that's another story.
Yeah, because the lights went out, and of course, then it all went wrong. But that's another story. Anybody picking the Jets against the Bucks?
No.
Tumbleweed.
No.
Right?
I didn't think so. I thought I would ask the question because you never know. There's always a lone wolf that pops up, but even I couldn't pick the Jets against the Bucks. Dolphins, Titans. Dolphins on a 7-game winning streak, I believe. Titans obviously 10-5 coming off beating the Niners, but weren't that convincing. Carl. Dolphins, Titans. Fins up
Dolphins,
or Titans down?
Dolphins have been on a 7-game winning streak now, which is pretty impressive. However, though, if you go through the list of the teams that they've actually played, none of them scream, wow, these look like legitimate opponents. Well, maybe the Ravens, but that's about it. I'm picking Tennessee. I think getting AJ Brown back was absolutely huge for them, and it will help them down the stretch. They need to be in the seeding. They need to be in the seeding spot come playoff time because they get the king back, and they're going to need him at his very, very best. So I'm taking the Titans to beat the Dolphins, and also as well playoff implications on my team as well. So yeah, fuck the Dolphins.
Okay, Nick.
Well, I've been a Dolphins diehard now for almost a week, and I'm going to keep that up. I'm picking the Dolphins. I think they do it.
Mark, City Boy.
Dolphins for me. Fins up.
Dion.
I'm sorry. I got to roll with the Titans here. I just looked at everything, and honestly, man, they have the better offense. Both teams have stellar defenses, but I feel like the Titans are going to win this one. So I got to go Titans.
Mark Faithful.
Question: Who's at home?
Titans.
Titans.
They favored? Are they favored? Do your brothers know?
I don't know.
I would think they would be a 3-point favourite because normally Vegas gives 3 points to the home team, right?
I'm with my brother Mark. I'm going with the Dolphins, man.
That's it.
I still don't like his gimpy left-handed throwing action. Just can't get my head around it. I watched him again. I just can't get my head around it. Jalen Waddle played really well last week. Titans for me. But yeah, I just can't. That's what happens when you watch Steve Young doing fantastic lefty throws, and then you see someone like Tua. It's not the same. And that's probably a reason why there aren't that many left-handed or left-armed QBs in the league, because it just looks strange. But that's just me. I'm a leftist. I know Ryan is trying to join, but as you... Oh, hang on a minute. He's in the frozen tundra. He's here. Ryan's only been trying for the last 20 minutes to get in on the stream. Ryan, can you hear us?
Hear me? Okay.
We have you. We're going to talk Jaguars, Patriots, and I know you were very interested in this game. And he's just frozen. No, he hasn't. Sorry, I thought he'd frozen.
I'm here.
Right. Jaguars, Patriots. You wanted to talk about this one. Ryan, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm going for Pats. I mean, I don't think Jaguars are going to beat them anyway. I'll be surprised if they do. I'll be surprised. But, I mean, I'm going for my wife's team. And, yes, I went for – and I didn't go – and I actually didn't go for the Bills last week, Nick. I didn't go for the Bills. I actually went for Patriots. And the reason why I did, because I love my wife, and I know she goes my Niners every week, and you know, I mean, I don't love the Patriots, but I only like them because of my wife. So, but otherwise than that,
you've got to take Christina's side. We understand, especially after you picked against her a few weeks ago, and you got the frying pan and the rolling pin round the back of your head. We understand that.
I got you. Yeah, I only have a few minutes, so yeah, basically, I'm going for a Pats, and this week, and I'll see what happens going forward. That's all.
Definitely. Loving your content. Obviously, I'll let you go. Love your content. It's been really interesting watching your show with you guys. Been very good. We are returning to a Saturday show from next week because obviously with it being New Year's Day, Saturday, I'm probably still going to be drunk just for a change because I'm always.
I'll be there. I'll try to be there definitely on that one. Yeah, Ryan.
I have a drink problem and I'm a Jimmy sexual and God knows what. So, listen, Happy New Year to you
Nick.
and
Nick, you hear me?
Christina, Ryan. Yeah, we've got
hear me,
you.
Nick? How you guys feel about Trey Lance? How you feel about Trey Lance playing this week?
I don't think anyone has an issue at all with it.
I didn't think so.
But I have changed my name to Jimmy G's Thumb in honor of his great thumb.
Thank you all for watching the show. Our show.
Definitely. We'll catch up very, very soon, Ryan. Take it easy, man. Stay safe out there, brother, and Happy New Year.
There we go, man.
There you go. That's Ryan. Anybody, the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Pats?
No. Not happening. No.
I know I know it's sort of 9:15 in the evening here in the UK, but even I'm not that drunk to pick the Jaguars.
Yeah, no crack for me today.
Raiders versus the Colts. Colts. Nick?
Yeah, interested to see the road team has won the last 3 games they've had, but yeah, Colts for me.
City boy?
Colts. Raiders don't win it this week, so definitely Colts.
Dion?
Go with the Colts.
Mark Faithful?
If you don't mind me asking, who's at home again?
Colts.
Colts at home.
I think the Raiders.
Oh, we got Lone Wolf.
Ooh.
There is a Lone Wolf situation.
Trust me, brothers. I ain't playing that if I was the Lone Wolf. But I think the Raiders probably win that.
I'm going Colts. So unfortunately, Mark, you are the Lone Wolf. Would you like me to do your Lone Wolf sound for you? Or shall I get Carl to do it because he's an expert at lone wolfing? What do you reckon? Me or Carl to do your Lone Wolf?
Being that you're the leading host, please do the honor.
Yeah, I knew I was going to get picked.
Knock yourself out.
And my dog is now going nuts indoors, but fuck it. I'm not indoors. I'm outside.
I don't think I could.
Chiefs Bungles, Carl. Choose.
Ooh. So you're saying that you're going for Chiefs, did you say?
No, I haven't made my pick yet.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said you choose.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chiefs, but I don't think this is gonna be as clear cut as everyone thinks it is. I mean, Cincinnati are on a really good roll right now. Joe Burrow's playing out of his mind. I think they're going to give the Chiefs problems, but I think the Chiefs have got enough quality to get over the line. So I'm taking Kansas City.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs purely based, I think, on how their defense has stepped up the last few weeks. Sorensen's been playing really, really well, and he was getting abused early part of the season.
Yeah, he was.
As I said to Scott, I don't know if it was our last show or the show before, from somewhere, he all of a sudden is a born-again player and has been playing really, really well. Obviously, we don't know if there's any COVID issues or anything, but I still think the Chiefs will just about have enough both sides of the ball to win. So, yeah, I'm picking Chiefs. Nick, what say you?
Yeah, I agree with the whole thing. The Chiefs are really stepping up now, aren't they? Let's be honest. But then the Bengals are no chumps on D either. I think it could be a close, low-scoring game, but Chiefs take it.
City boy?
I'm going for the home team, Bengals.
Ooh.
I think
There
looking
could
good.
be an Isle of Wight lone wolf situation.
Lone Wolf preview
Dion.
from Carla.
Dion.
Bengals, they're at home. Go Joe Burrow. Burrow.
Wow.
Muting, unmuting. Gotta love my fastest finger first. Mark Faithful, who you got?
Bengals. Tell Scott I'm sorry, but Bengals. Oh, you know what, too? Nick, I remember when you were saying when we did the picks for the 49ers and the Titans, and you was telling Scott not to pick the Titans. I mean, not to pick the 49ers, because every time you pick the 49ers, they lose. I remember, and I thought about you too when I was at the bar. I was like, yo, he did say that, but yeah, I'm going with the Bengals.
I'll tell you, bad juju. Every time Scott has picked the Niners, because obviously I pick against, when he's on the panel, I'll always pick against the Chiefs just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
And he plays reverse psychology and he picks the Niners.
Yeah.
And they lay an egg. Thanks,
yeah,
Scott.
man.
And I know you're watching, Scott. Thank you very much for your input. Please keep it to yourself next.
But when that happened, I thought about you too, man. I was like, oh man, I remember Nick said that. And but yeah, man, it is what it is.
That actually reminds me, I need to send him a DM on Twitter to tell him to keep his fat mouth shut and never pick the Niners again. And I'm glad he's not here because he can't pick against the Niners when we do that game. So hopefully, whoever's under center, if he comes up in the chat, I'm just going to kick him out and delete him so no one sees his comment because I don't want any bad juju. Giants versus the Bears.
Jesus Christ.
The shit bowl of the week, Carl, methinks.
No, I think the shit bowl was last week between the Jets and the Jags.
That was awful.
But every week we have a game that you definitely don't want to tune into on Game Pass. And I think this is going to be one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know who's playing QB for the Giants. Is it Mike Glennon? Is it that Jake Fromm or whatever his name?
I think it's going to be Mike Glennon at start. I think it's going to be Mike Glennon.
When did Nick Foles?
No, that was the Bears. So we're talking to the Giants quarterback situation.
Oh, no one cares because it doesn't matter who they throw out there; they're still going to suck.
No, the Bears threw out Big Dick Nick last week, so you've done all right. So, yeah, I'm taking.
No, that's Nick Mullins. That's Nick Mullins. Don't you ever disrespect the Mullins.
So yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'm taking
Big
the Bears.
Nick,
I'm taking
Nick.
the Bears. I think if Nick Foles doesn't play, I think Justin Fields will. I think the Bears are in a better position than the Giants are right now. Giants just suck anyway. So
Nick?
Yeah, Bears purely because they're at home. It's going to be a shit show.
City boy. I think Nick froze for a second.
Okay, I'm going only home team Bears. That's the only reason. Both poor teams. It's not one to be watching, really, is it? I think even the highlights might be a bit too much for me, but we will see.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Bears too. Mark Faithful, I'm gonna safely assume you rolling with the squad here.
I'm gonna say this, Dion. I'm gonna keep it real. You know, my mother, she's a Giant fan. My father, he's a 49er fan. I'm a 49er fan, obviously. And my mom, she always root for my team when we play somebody. Sorry, Mom. I'm going with the Bears. I love you, Mom. My mother probably watching right now. She's on vacation in Florida. But, yeah, Mom. Sorry, Mom. I love you. But I'm going with the Bears.
Hey, look, Monday night, my mom's a Saints fan. Monday night, I told her straight up, I need you to lose. I'm sorry. I can't help you. Ian Book gonna have to get broke off. That happened. Good.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bears Giants for a shit show. Anyone picking the Falcons over the Bills?
No.
Anyone picking the Chargers to lose to the Broncos?
Bridgewater's still out, isn't he?
Tumbleweed. Sorry?
I was going to say Bridgewater's still out, isn't he?
Yeah, Bridgewater is still out.
Ah, yeah, they got zero hope in hell. I mean, they only had a 10% chance with Bridgewater, so.
Exactly. Another shit bowl potential. Panthers Saints. Another awful game, but a coin flip.
I'm not so sure.
I am going tactically. I don't want the Saints to win for obvious reasons, because that could
the
affect
faithful.
the
We know who we want to win. That's
I am having to pick.
You and Carl, because all of us.
I've got to pick. Yeah, I've got to pick.
Yeah, we need to ask Carl who he wants to win.
Yeah.
Who do I want to win?
Yeah.
I think Saints get most of their players back off the COVID list. So, and the Panthers really are just a disorganized mess. I'm going with the Saints.
Just lone wolf it now, Carl, because everyone else, no one is picking the Saints. Lone wolf it.
Okay.
He's been practicing that. He has definitely been practicing.
Learning off the best, mate.
Lions Seahawks.
Jesus.
Now, did you ask?
I'm going for the Motor City. Anyone
I'm going for
picking the Sea
Detroit.
Chicken?
Yeah, I want Detroit to win. Can you imagine the end of the Russell Wilson era with the L to the Lions?
Jared Goff's Lions.
Oh my God, that would just be fucking fantastic for me. It'd be so wonderful just to watch Pete Carroll get punched in the mouth by Jared fucking Goff and then get his kneecaps gnawed off by Mark Ragnow. Let's go.
I think that's
Come on,
unanimous
Detroit.
with kind of faithful that's here, brother.
Say it again.
I was saying I think that's unanimous. The faithful that's on this panel.
Yeah.
So Carl, it just leaves you.
Well, this for you, Carl.
If Goff manages it, I will be the first man to experience the female multiple.
I had the Lions down last week to knock off the Falcons because the Falcons are they've just got false hope at this moment in time, and they failed. They failed on the final drive. So yeah, I'm taking.
There's always one, and it's normally Carl, except he did a double. Cardinals, Cowboys, push. Couldn't give a fuck. Next, Carl.
Damn.
So you're going for a tie, basically.
Basically. So what are you saying?
For a tie.
Fuck both of them. I don't care.
Cowboys.
I'm never picking the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Nick.
I'm sorry. I'm with you. I'm going with the tie. Fuck it.
Mark,
I don't want
City.
either of them winning.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna take them. I don't like them. I hate them with a passion. But I'd rather them win than the fucking Cardinals. So I'm taking the Cowboys.
Mark, City.
I think Cowboys at home are going to win it. Sadly, Cards on such a bad run that I want a tie, but I think Cowboys are going to do it.
Mark Faithful.
Oh my goodness, this is Well, I'm gonna say it like this: gold is worth more than silver. So with that said, oh my God, I gotta pick. You know what?
Just go with the Cowboys, man.
No, man, I can't. Nah, bro. Nah, man.
The Cardinals are in our division. It's direct opponent. We don't want them.
It don't matter though.
I'm trying to sway you whatever way I can. Just pick the Cowboys, just because I know we hate them. We hate them. We hate both of them equally with a passion. But the Cowboys, it just does something to us Niner fans. We hate them even more. But we need the Cardinals to lose.
Why
if the
though?
Cardinals lose,
Why we need them to
they lose? They could possibly finish in third place. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
well, no, actually, they would. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't because they beat us both games. I'm tripping. Yeah, brain fart. My bad. I still don't want to see the Cardinals win shit though. So
I think
just go with the tie.
Yeah, join me on the fence.
I don't think it's gonna be a tie though. Respect to you, Nick. I know you said tie. I don't think it's gonna be a tie. I'm gonna go with I call them the Carnivals. Y'all call them the Cardinals. I call them the Carnivals because they're a clown to me. With respect, I'm going with the Carnivals. All right.
Cool. Anybody picking the Vikings with the Chocotron 5000 Mark II at QB to beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers?
The Vikings are a team that the Vikings always push the Packers, though. They're the one team that does actually push them right to the end.
That's perfectly fine. Push away at the end of the day. Just don't win the goddamn game.
Yeah, taking Green Bay.
Anyone? Well, by the sounds of it, we could have a third lone wolf in a row for young Carl. Anyone picking against the Packers at home?
No.
No, go Paco.
I'll take Carl.
I said the Packers, not the Vikings, you twat. I chose the Packers.
You said they pushed them.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Right.
I said
the
Vikings will push them, but I didn't say they'd win.
Well, all I heard was the Vikings. Right.
Yes, and I'm choosing the Packers to win. Okay, now, fire.
Thank you. Shut up. It's my show. Browns, Steelers. Browns. Carl?
I really want the Steelers to have their first losing record under Mike Tomlin. Baker Mayfield, shit. He was awful last week.
He was awful. He was
still managed to stay in the game. Yeah. Big Ben gets his final win at Heinz Field. I'm taking the Steelers.
Nick?
I was leaning towards the Browns right up until he said about Big Ben's last game. Yeah, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go Steelers. I don't think he loses his last one there.
Mark City?
Steelers.
Fucking hell, I'm going to be a lone wolf. Dion? Dion's...
I'm taking the Browns.
No, he's back.
I'm taking the Browns.
Good man.
Yep.
Good man. Mark Faithful?
Yeah, I'm going with the Browns, man. I ain't like that no call penalty they ain't give the Browns, man. I was real sad. I'm going with the Browns, man. Respect to Ben Roethlisberger, Browns.
Cool. Last game. everyone, this is all on Carl, whether he lone wolves for a third time. Niners at home versus the Texans. Are you going to be silly enough to pick the Texans?
No. No.
Good
Taking the Niners. You should have this win, but prepare for a lot of shit to go your way if you lose to the Houston Texans.
Trust me,
in some way,
you
shape, or
lose,
form.
I am not
It'll be
going on
deserved.
Twitter because I'll kill some motherfuckers. I'll be an OG gangster. But anyway, right, we have reached the end of the road. 2021 is drawing to a close. 2022 is right around the corner. I want to thank everyone that's been with us this year. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Mark Faithful, Dion, City Boy, Harrison Colt from the Colts, Matt from the Bills, Shark Gone Road, everyone that's been on the show. I've really appreciated all of you. If you are going out New Year's Eve, stay safe, wear a mask, all that jazz. Have a good time. We will see you a week Saturday. There may be a special announcement coming. Read that. Who knows? But thank you, gentlemen, for joining. And thank you all for watching. Thank you to all the comments. Appreciate all of you. Everyone stay safe out there. Have a happy new year. We'll see you all in 2022. I am Jimmy G's thumb, wearing a Trey Lance jersey, and my thumb is just about, if I can just about grip the mouse, it's going to stop the show. Jimmy G's thumb, Alfred, Nick, whoever. We'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining. Have a good time, New Year, and be safe, people. Take care. We out.
Happy New Year, everyone.